welcome back to the deep dive. You know that familiar green logo, Zelle, the one popping up basically everywhere in your banking app.
Oh, yeah. Hard to miss.
Right. It promises, instantly sending money, splitting dinner, paying rent. Seems super simple.
It really is woven into our financial lives now.
Totally. But let's be honest. How many of us really, truly understand what Zelle is? I mean, beyond just what it does.
That's a great question, like how it works, who's actually running it.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, what are its limitations? Because there are some surprising ones that could definitely catch you off guard. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Our mission today is basically to pull back the curtain on Zelle. We want to clarify how it works, who's backing it, the obvious convenience, but also these fundamental boundaries that lots of people just don't see.
Right. And we know a lot of you probably have questions, maybe even some misconceptions about it. And look, that clarity is just so valuable right now. I mean, what's really fascinating is how often we use these things, tap, tap, send, without, really getting the architecture underneath or the specific limits. In this world with so many digital payment options, understanding the how and why of something like Zelle, it's not just interesting, it's practical.
So true.
It can genuinely save you time, prevent confusion, maybe even big headaches, and just make sure your money actually goes where you think it's going,
Absolutely. Understanding the details really empowers you.
Yeah, lets you make smarter choices, confident choices.
Okay, so let's jump right into Zelle's core identity. What is it fundamentally?
Well, at its heart, it pitches itself as fast, safe, and easy for sending and receiving money.
And for its main job, it really does deliver. Splitting that dinner bill, sending rent money fast, chipping in for a gift.
Right. It's really designed for those transactions with people you know, friends, family.
And crucially, others you trust. That trust part is key, actually.
It is. And the real elegance, I think, is how it works even if the other person banks somewhere totally different.
Yeah, that interbank thing is incredibly convenient.
It is convenient, but it's also, pretty clever under the hood. The mechanics are what make it so fast.
Right. Tell us about that.
Well, it enables electronic transfers directly between bank accounts, almost any U.S. bank accounts.
They're not like sitting in a third-party wallet first.
Exactly. It's a direct connection between the banks. And that directness is why it's usually done in minutes, not hours, not days.
Minutes. That's the big sell.
It is. And importantly, no fees. Or at least no fees when you use it through your bank's app or website.
Okay, that's an important distinction. Through your bank.
Yes. It's basically using the existing U.S. banking plumbing, but putting a super high-speed lane on it just for these peer-to-peer payments.
A high-speed express lane. I like that analogy. It makes sense. And the scale of this, it's not small.
Right. Oh, not at all. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The numbers are just staggering.
Yeah.
Since it launched, 2017, Zelle has done over 5 billion digital payments.
5 billion. Wow.
Yeah. Think about what that actually means for, everyday life. A huge chunk of our small and maybe not so small money movements are flowing through this system.
That's incredible reach.
And it connects more than 2,200 banks and credit unions across the U.S.
2,200.
Yeah.
So basically, almost anyone you know with a U.S. bank account probably has Zelle right there.
Pretty much. It's not just convenient, it's almost, ubiquitous in the U.S. banking landscape. And that massive scale, that deep reach, it points to its design philosophy, really. Integration.
Integration, not disruption.
Okay. Exactly. It was built to be seamless everywhere, embedded in the U.S. banking system, not separate from it.
Right. Which feels different from, say, downloading a separate app and funding a wallet.
Completely different. You're using a feature inside your bank's environment, something you already know and presumably trust.
Yeah, familiar interface.
It feels like an extension of your bank account, just for sending money quickly to other people.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, the practical bit, how do you actually use it? Where do people find Zelle?
Well, like we've been saying, you generally look for it right inside your existing banking app.
Or maybe online banking portal.
Or the online portal, exactly.
Right.
It's usually part of the services your bank offers directly, not really a standalone thing you go searching for in an app store as your main tool.
Okay. And this leads us to something important because there's been some chatter, rumors maybe.
Yes, the shutting down thing.
Right. So what does this mean if you've heard Zelle is shutting down? Is that true? Should people panic?
Okay, deep breaths, everyone. No need to panic if you use Zelle through your bank. Here's the deal. The standalone Zelle app, the separate app some people might have downloaded, that is being discontinued.
Okay. The standalone app.
Yes. Looks like April 4th, 2025 is the date for that. And this is the vital part, the actual Zelle service, the network, the thing integrated with your bank, that is absolutely not going away.
So if you use it in your banking app, you're fine. Business as usual.
Exactly. It's almost like it's just fully becoming what it was designed to be, a core banking feature, not its own separate app identity.
That makes a lot of sense.
And it really raises that interesting question, doesn't it? How do we think about these services? Is it an app or is it network?
Right. And Zelle is clearly the network.
It's fundamentally the network. Shutting down the app just reinforces that bank-centric identity. It wasn't trying to bypass the banks. It was about enhancing what they already do.
Which probably helps with trust and reliability, too, being so tied into the established system.
Absolutely. It feels less like some new third-party thing you have to vet and more like, well, just using your bank.
Okay, so speaking of banks,
Yeah.
who actually owns this network?
Yeah.
It's not just one bank, right?
No, not at all. And it's not a typical tech startup either. It's run by a company called Early Warning Services.
Early warning services, okay.
And that company is owned by a group, a consortium of really big U.S. banks.
Oh, interesting. Which ones?
We're talking Bank of America, Truist, Capital One, JP Morgan Chase, PNC Bank, U.S. Bank, and Wells Fargo.
Wow. That's basically a who's who of major U.S. banking.
It really is. And that ownership structure is super significant. It's not just a list of names.
Why is it so significant?
Because it shows Zelle as this collaborative effort by the banks, for the banks essentially, to facilitate these interbank transfers smoothly.
So the banks themselves built this highway, this express lane we talked about.
Exactly. They pooled their resources. And that's a huge reason why it got adopted so quickly and integrated so deeply. It has the backing, the infrastructure, the trust of these massive institutions right from the start.
Which an independent startup would struggle to replicate.
Immensely. So when you use Zelle via your bank, you're essentially tapping into this powerful network backed by the biggest players. It implies a certain level of reliability.
Within the domestic system.
Yes, within the domestic financial system. It also suggests they're strategically working together to offer a strong alternative to other payment tech, keeping them central to how money moves.
Okay, that makes sense. Knowing who's backing it gives you confidence for, like you said, domestic transactions. But now, the big one, the limitation.
Yes. The international question.
This trips people up all the time, doesn't it? People assume digital means global. What's the absolute final word on Zelle and international payments?
The word is no. It's really crucial to be completely clear here. Zelle does not work internationally, period.
Unequivocal.
Unequivocal. It is designed only for domestic money transfers within the United States.
So both the sender and the receiver.
Must have U.S. bank accounts. Bank accounts located and operating in the U.S. There's no magic trick, no workaround. Trying to send money abroad with Zelle just won't work.
It'll just fail. Why is that, fundamentally?
Well, think about international transfers. You're dealing with different laws, different currencies, different banking systems entirely. Zelle's infrastructure, being built as a U.S. interbank network, simply isn't set up for that complexity.
Got it. So let's nail this down with specific examples people ask about. Like India. Does Zelle work in India? Nope. Absolute no. Does not operate there.
And the other way around. Can someone send money from India to the U.S. using Zelle?
Equally definite no. Cannot be done.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about sending money to family overseas or maybe receiving funds from abroad,
Zelle is not the tool?
Zelle is not the tool. It is strictly U.S. to U.S. It's baked into its design.
Okay. Super important to understand that.
It really is. And knowing that limitation isn't just about avoiding a failed payment, it's about smart personal finance.
How so?
Because if you do need to send money internationally, knowing Zelle won't work forces you to actually look for and use the right services, the ones designed for international remittances.
Right, the ones that handle the currency conversion, the regulations.
Exactly. Services operating under totally different systems. It just highlights that you can't assume all digital payment tools are the same, especially geographically.
Choose the right tool for the job, basically.
Precisely. Crucial knowledge for managing money across borders. Absolutely. And hey, just as a practical note for our U.S. listeners, if you do run into issues with the domestic Zelle transfer, the customer service number we found in the source is 001-501-748-8506.
Good to have handy.
Yeah, just in case. Okay, so let's try and wrap this deep dive up. Key takeaways from our look at Zelle.
Well, first, it's a powerful tool. It's fast, often free if you use it through your bank.
And specifically designed for sending money domestically
Right.
within the U.S.
Right. Deeply integrated into your banking, backed by that big bank consortium.
And the standalone app is retiring, but the service in your bank, that's staying put.
Exactly. But I think the most vital takeaway really is always be aware of the scope, the geographical limits, the underlying structure of any payment service you use.
Don't just assume.
Don't assume digital equals global. Think critically about the where, the how, the who behind the money movement.
That knowledge is power, especially with your money.
Absolutely. Understanding these details protects you, it empowers your financial choices, makes sure money goes where it should.
Okay, so that leaves us with a final thought for you, our listeners, to chew on. Knowing Zelle is this powerful network owned by major U.S. banks, specifically for domestic transfers. How might that model influence the future of payments?
Interesting question. Does it spur more bank collaboration? Or maybe limit certain kinds of innovation?
Yeah. And maybe what other everyday services that you use might have similar kind of hidden geographical boundaries or ownership structures. Now that you know to look, maybe worth a closer peek.
Definitely something to think about.
Something to mull over until next time. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.